Okay,
Okay, so
so
we got round one. We got Ozoff versus Mono
mono
Black.
black, and
Okay.
I was having the pleasure to sit in this match. Slightly overconfident in my deck.
Well, you were playing Mono Black, and Mono Black is very powerful, but it does limit you in the ability of card pool. And just the fact of the matter is, you have less options and possibilities
Oh
in a
yeah,
multicolored deck.
yeah. With that being said, though, this was the first time in a very long time that I sit down in front of Adam with a lot of confidence. Because usually in all the other tournaments, he's a very formidable player and it's very difficult to eke out a win. But like I felt very confident until this point when he played the 1-3 first striker, which right now hoses my entire board.
Well, this is a format notorious for having a lot of two twos. So that 1-3, that
Yeah,
three
it's really
toughness
fun.
is like really hard to get through. Now Ozoff has got the plains and the swamps going, so they're definitely got their colors pretty much up.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to take things in the air, hoping that they're just not gonna flood the board with angelic pages or something, and I can attack through.
Taking to the skies is usually a safe bet, just generally speaking, in most formats. But especially so, just because it's a format where the ground can really get gummed up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, especially in this, like we already had a stall on like basically turn two. Okay, he's passing the turn, so
Yeah,
I'm
3 mana up though
yeah exactly. I'm
means stuff.
wondering. So I'm like, okay, I'll send in the flyer. Let's see, test the waters with this.
There's no reason not to, really.
Yeah, it does connect, so we'll see. And then yeah, I'm
Okay, do we have any end step action going on?
No, actually, so here was the play. I'm thinking here. So the line what I'm thinking that I do have 3 or 4 mana plays, but I also know that he's the player with the smokestack, and I'm choosing to play the crackling fiend because if we get into a smokestack issue, at least I got a card out of it. That
Yeah,
was my line. That's like, okay, let's play a card which takes a card. So I'm like, if I use that to smokestack, I'm not too sad.
yeah, you're figuring at the very least you're like just getting more value. Like
Yeah.
your one card is now worth one card for your
O-
opponent.
Also, like, what is a little awkward about this play that I still can't attack through the wall on the ground.
1-3 is huge. Oh,
So
Opal
then the
Titan.
Opal Titan. Now I'm like, okay, how are we managing this?
So if anybody doesn't know, Opal Titan, whenever you cast a creature spell, it gets protection from that color. And since you are playing mono black, as soon as you cast a creature spell, they have a mono black creature that is just pretty much impossible for you to stop.
Yes, I think this was the solution here because I was very scared about the Titan. I didn't want to play a creature. I'm like, you know what? I can put a Despondency out there, and now I'm cracking for 4
Yeah,
because now suddenly my creatures don't die.
yeah, and then one of the huge advantages of this is if they play the smokestack, you
Yeah,
get the enchantment back,
exactly.
and then you can you're basically paying an upkeep fee at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the kind of beauty of this format that you kind of need to hold back sometimes and not rush things out, and then multiple turns like set up these little traps, and hopefully we can get the advantage out of it. But yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen here because the Opal Titan is there.
Well, I mean, realistically speaking, the Ozaf player just really needs to gum up the board. I would think.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what he's trying, because now he needs to act. He's taking 4 a turn, and I'm like, okay, like I'll see what he's doing, and then he is actually doing. So that's a chimeric staff.
Oh,
Yeah, that's on the side. So he will have a big creature if he has the mana, but he's down on life. So I'm like, okay, like if we are starting to race, like I'm still ahead on the life totals. And I think I'm trying to remember, but I think now I'm very happy because of the 6 mana because I feel like I had a corrupt in my hand. So I know that like on life total race, like I'm good at this point.
okay. So this is one of those time frames where I feel like committing a little bit more resources to the board might be good. Just because your opponent now has to like spend mana to activate the staff, and if you have any counterplay whatsoever, it just puts them in a corner where they can't do anything.
Yeah, I maybe was too cautious about being worried on the Opal Titan because that's a card which I very respect, and then now it's like a little bit punished because now they have the Monk Realist.
Okay, but
Yeah,
then it
they
still
get
goes
back to
back to your
proper. Yeah,
hand.
exactly. That was the cool part, and then now the Opal Gargoyle. So they're really trying to set up this enchantment
So now,
on
now
me.
you now you're in this weird dynamic where as soon as you cast a creature, they get a lot of power. very fast out of nowhere.
Exactly. Yes.
And this is one of those ones where you have to be very careful. And when you wait too long, what happens is your opponent now has the opportunity, like you're giving them the time to
Yeah.
like get into a much longer game, and it forces you into a dynamic where if they even just have like any way to get rid of one or two of your creatures, you just can't get out of
That
that
is,
pile.
that is exactly what I'm worried. That like, okay, what if I'm starting to lose this clock? I'm losing that flyer. I really don't want to play another flyer into the Oppo Titan
Yep.
because like now, or I want them to be very low life total when I do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, even just getting them to seven,
and now the Bane is here, Angelic Page.
phenomenal card.
And you see here, this is exactly what I was expecting, holding back this one, because I knew that like okay, now I can get through with the flyer because I already hit them a few times, and then hopefully a few more turn is enough, and now I can put the angelic page on chop block duty.
So that's fine though, because they could
Yeah,
still just
they
like,
do block, but they lose a card for me
oh,
not losing a
oh, they
card, right?
actually blocked. I'm surprised they
Yeah,
didn't.
because at one point they can just keep taking three in the air,
I
like the
mean,
angelic page is almost like not there at that point. And I think he also, like what I'm thinking, that he must have something to get over this game with. Oh, there you go. That's why he was going to block. So that was yeah.
okay, we have a very large Sarah avatar, which is a big creature, but has got no form of evasion. It's really just a huge creature.
Yeah, I think at that point, I think it was like a 12/12 or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge creature. Definition of a huge creature, but no evasion, no trample. Like Sarah Avatar is just a big stick. You can easily chump block it. You can do lots of other things. You can still hit them in the air.
Yeah, I think here we have a little bit of friendly conversation because I attack, and then yeah, like he's contemplating uh, what he could have been doing differently
Sure, sure, sure.
here. But yeah, like the flyer is still an issue there, and I'm trying to ride this to victory. Yeah, he's also low on card. I'm trying to avoid at all costs activating his Opal army over there.
Yep.
'Cause-
Which this is one of those things where it's like, depending on what you had in hand, you could have just generated huge amounts of value just by like just getting something else on the field, perhaps another flyer, and then you could have closed this game way faster. But
there's an angelic page too.
okay, so we have a second angelic
Yeah,
page,
I
which would
mean,
have been really powerful if they could have waited. But
and now I'm exiling the graveyard, just trying to see if my exile is gonna work, because that's why the carrion thing is in the deck essentially to make any exiles asymmetric, because they don't have anything in
sure,
the graveyard.
sure, sure,
And
sure.
then I'm
Which
gonna
is
have
like not like if you have the mana and you're not doing anything anyways, you should do it.
yeah, exactly. And it's a one it's like okay, like maybe it can get a little bit more aggressive posture to my deck, getting out on turn one. And if the game goes long, we try to set up the exhume with it. But yeah, the despondency trick worked again, and then now he's running out of flyers. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and then
this
just flyers win the game here.